Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 3 Under Par podcast. This is a golf podcast where
Little White Ball's life.
I'm your host, Scotty T, and I'm joined by my co-host, T-Bone, in the building. What's going on, my man?
What's up? Happy Monday, people.
Happy Monday. Big week. Arnold Palmer Invitational was this last week. We are officially into the Florida swing now. The first major of the year is this week as well, the Players' Championship, which we're going to break that down, give some of our picks, as well as a recap, Netflix, Full Swing episode 5 and 6. And then we got a top 5 headed your way. We will tell you what that top 5 is. Should we go and tell them? Should we tell the good people what they're expecting?
Yeah, let's do it. So, us being in Houston, it's rodeo season. It's Texas Independence Day was last week. So, we figured we'd throw out a top 5, our top 5 favorite Texas-born golfers. So, should be an interesting one. I think no spoilers, but I think we're both going to be fighting for Patrick Reed with the number 1 overall pick. But you'll have to stay tuned to see who gets that number 1 spot. But P. Reed could get the spot.
Yeah, it's definitely up for debate here, to say the least. Man, I hope that's not the case. We'll just say that. But yeah, to be clear, it's our favorite golfers, not the best golfers. We talked about that beforehand. There will be some overlap there, but our favorite Texas-born golfers, and I don't know, might be reaching deep into the archives here because there's a lot of great players from the state of Texas. Some you realize, some you don't necessarily realize. So
I'm kind of scared we're going to miss someone key.
I'm going to try to clip this out and then let me know in the comments who we missed because, again, there's a lot of phenomenal players from the state of Texas. Even guys like Sean O'Hare, who's, PGA Tour Rookie of the Year. Whenever I was looking it up, I was like, oh, yeah, he had a string, too, where he was playing some really good golf.
I had no idea he was from Texas.
Yeah, he's from Lubbock, I believe.
Interesting.
Sean. Anyway, yeah, I'm spending way too much looking up Sean O'Hare right now. Too much time. Anyway, let's move on. So, big week, elevated event. So, Honda Classic was last week, non-elevated event. Now we run into the Arnold Palmer Invitational this week. T-Bone, what are your thoughts on the week overall? I mean, it was a good leaderboard. Now I'm going to butcher this name. I apologize.
Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break of that Kitayama. I mean, they got to get on the sponsorship deal immediately. Immediately.
I love that.
Rip the check, baby. This is a perfect sponsorship opportunity.
Kurt Kimmy said,
"Oh man, there we go."
Oh my gosh, now I'm just embarrassed here. Kurt Kitayama, right? Walks away with the win. $3.6 million payout, which is unbelievable. Great names in the mix, though. Like, that's what I think that's the point of these elevated events, right? Is to get the top players in the mix. Rory McIlroy, Patrick Cantlay, Jordan Spieth, Scotty Scheffler, Tyrrell Hatton. I mean, these are some of the top players in the game. They're all in the mix, but it is Kurt Kitayama coming away with the victory. Really impressive win, which before we dive into it a little bit more, how about the tour sauce on 18 to mark his ball when he is this far away from winning? I mean, how crazy town is that? I couldn't believe it. But at the same time, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Such an impressive win when you look at the leaderboard and throw on the elevated event. Awesome finish. It would have been really cool if he made it, but yeah, that was a big time move to throw down the mark and soak it all in. Loved that.
It was fantastic. I mean, that 18th hole at Arnold Palmer, it's becoming really iconic, right? I mean, we all know the videos of Tiger draining the putts, the fist pumps everywhere. Even Mr. Palmer himself hitting that driver off the deck off 18. Which I even saw Bill Hostler. He reenacted the shot there, which is great. I mean, there's been some really good moments where I'm glad that is one of those elevated tournaments. Obviously, you're not going to not have Arnold Palmer's tournament be an elevated event, but I think Bay Hill has proven its has proven itself as a course overall. And if you want iconic ability, that's a word. A lot of memorable moments. 18 definitely provides that with the rocks and everything. It's just great. It's a great setup, great venue.
Yeah. No, it's a great event. It's made for a dramatic finish. And I thought we were going to have an absolutely epic playoff. I think when Kitayama was going into 17, we had five dudes tied at 8 under. And I don't think I've ever seen a five-person playoff in PGA Tour event. Um, but it kind of felt like someone was gonna break through. And man, like you said, two triple bogeys on the weekends, two balls OB. Sounded like my weekend, honestly. But the fact that he still hung around, got the W, finishing birdie par on 18 there, that was impressive for sure. And I'll be honest, I don't think I knew who this was before the the tournament this week. Did you?
I can't say I did either.
Yeah,
And we
apparently
called
he's
off pretty
finished.
closely.
Yeah, apparently he's finished or he's lost to like Rory, Rom, and someone else, a bunch of big names as of recent. But uh, his path. I've seen some stuff on his history, and it looks like he's played on pretty much every tour, which is crazy. I mean, I'm talking all the way to like Canadian, Japanese tours, everything across the board he's played in. So to see him win an event like this is really cool. And uh, I want to say this win was equal to his career earnings. Um, so that's wild. And then another crazy stat I saw was this win was equal to Arnold Palmer's lifetime on course earnings. That's insane. So few cool stats there. I think it's we've talked about on this show before. I like to see the big names win. It's exciting, but seeing a guy like this win from time to time is always a good story. And the fact that he beat the biggest names in golf was great. And to kind of jump into that a little bit, I was kind of disappointed with some of the finishes. I mean, no one made a putt for probably 2 or 3 hours. And kind of moving to Rory on 18, it felt like a Tiger moment. Tied for the lead, gonna birdie 18, take the lead. Just no one made the putt all day.
Yeah.
And we've seen Tiger make that putt so many times on 18 to win, and kind of felt like it was Rory was going to do that. And then, I guess you have Scotty with a wedge in on 18. He makes bogey. So a little surprising from the 1 and 2 and 3 golfers in the world there. I guess Rom was nowhere to be seen, but yeah. Hey, good for Kit Kat.
Yeah, great for Kit Kat. Again, it's awesome. Yeah, you mentioned it before. Golf is one of those where we want to see the names at the top of the leaderboard. Which, speaking of Rory, I don't know if you saw his quote, but going into 14 when he was up by 1, he said he wasn't looking at the leaderboard, and if he had known that he had the lead, he would have played the hole a little bit different. That's a tough look for the I don't look at the leaderboard guy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's tough right there because Rory won in the Arnold Palmer. I can't remember if he's won it or not. I want to say he hasn't. I'm sure he has at some point, but
He has. I think he has.
yeah, I think you're right. He's won everything except the Masters pretty much. So, ayo. But yeah, that's a tough look there. Obviously, it would have been cool seeing him in the cashmere red sweater. But I mean, look, Kurt Kitayama deserves to win. At the end of the day, he showed up when it was time to show up.
For sure.
So before we get off on a Palmer, I want to give a shout out to another guy who is on the leaderboard. He finished his top 10 T8, Davis Riley. Davis Riley comes in low round, 66 on the last day, tied for the low round, I believe. On 66 on Saturday, finished 3 shots back. The reason why this is a big deal, he's one of those Alabama guys. There's a lot of great players that have come out of the Alabama program. And with this, he qualified for the Open Championship, the 151st playing of the British Open at Royal Liverpool. So 4 Borders were on the back 9, eagled 16, and then was able to close out a top 10 win there with the birdie on 18. So, or top 10 finish. So, want to give a shout out to Davis Riley. Not many people know about Davis Riley. So, he's one of those guys where he's getting hot. He's got his card. So, good showing for Davis Riley. Cool.
Bravo.
All right. I didn't know if you were going to respond or not. Very good. Okay. Anything else you would like to add? I think that's all I got for Arnold Palmer.
No, I think we nailed it, and it's Players Week, so I think we jump in.
Absolutely. Big week. I kind of got into it actually with the guy on the YouTube comments. So appreciate, I don't have it pulled up here, but appreciate everybody tuning into the YouTube page. So, go subscribe to our YouTube page there. If you comment, I'll respond back. And because I clicked out our player or our Masters, our major championship preview. And of course, I included the players. It's our ongoing joke here. If you're new to the podcast, we believe that the players should be a major. Majority of golfers don't think it should be, which look, I understand. But this guy was pretty much making the argument because he started off saying, like, don't include the players, not a major, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why not? In my opinion, it meets every single criteria. It's the same venue. It's been around long enough, which was, I think, the knock on it. But he brought up a good point, which I'm going to bring it up real quick here. That's all right. He said that the players, if the players were serious about being a major, then they should include the live guys to be able to play in it because the other major championships are. I thought that was an interesting argument. I haven't necessarily considered that. Now, the other golf organizations haven't taken the stand that the PGA Tour has. And since this is the biggest tournament by the PGA Tour, I understand why they're not letting those guys play in it. Well, again, tough look. Cam Smith, defending Players Championship, will not be there this week. But I just thought that was an interesting argument that I hadn't heard before. So, but that being said, it is the biggest event the PGA Tour puts on. TPC Sawgrass Stadium course. That course will kick your teeth in if you are not careful. So, really excited for this week. Like, golf is in full swing, no pun intended. We are here. I'm so pumped for the players this week.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I think because, like you said, it's the PGA Tour's baby. It's their biggest week of the year for the PGA Tour. It's just not going to happen. And I think one of the funny videos I saw this came out today or yesterday was Cam Smith was interviewed, and he was saying he loves the tournament. He's watched his whole life. The defending champion. He's gonna be watching it from his house. And he said he might even buy a ticket and be behind the ropes. So thought that was pretty funny. But this isn't a live episode.
Nope.
But yeah, players is a great week. I think last year, if I remember correctly, the weather was insane. Tons of rain, tons of wind. And I think the move up in the calendar in March has made it a little more unpredictable. So I'm just hoping for some good weather because, I just want good conditions because it's such a great tournament.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I was there in 2019 when Rory won, and it was beautiful. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then a cold front comes through Saturday night, and it is no lie, like 55 degrees, like really cold actually, because it's North Florida and in March. You can still get those cold Arctic blasts that come through, and when you're having 80, 85-degree weather, and then all of a sudden it's 55, it hits you like a Mack truck. You definitely feel it. So
Was that the players where Tiger was just Dunk City on 17? And by Dunk City, I mean wet.
yeah, he hit it in the water twice on 17 on
Brutal.
Friday, I believe. I was there. I watched it happen. I have it on video of him hitting in the water, actually. Maybe I'll overlay it here. I don't know. The PJ Tour is weird about their media rights, but yeah, that's
Man, I forget
he
how
still
good
made the cut though.
We're talking about closing stretch of the player or the Arnold Palmer. I forget how good it is, players. 16, 17, 18, maybe as good as it gets. I can't freaking wait. I kind
I
of forgot.
totally agree.
I forgot, honestly. But
I mean, as soon
it's
as
gonna
you
be
hit
good.
that, it's so the tee shot on 16, because I'm unfortunate to play the course a few times. Once you like turn the corner just past the tree, so you can see, it truly is a stadium feel. That's why they call it the stadium course. 16, 17, it's a big like arena looking thing. And then 18, we all know that finish is just iconic too, with the water on the left, with this beautiful clubhouse right behind the green. Yeah, it's a great stretch of golf.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Uh, Such a good finish. It's going to be a great week.
It really is. Yeah, moving it to March, I think we're still getting used to the schedule. The course just plays different, honestly. Like I remember, man, was it 2016, I believe, when Jason Day won? That's when they were complaining about the winds because the course was so dry, and the winds were about 35 miles an hour that the ball couldn't stay on the green because the greens were running so fast. Scores just skyrocketed, which again, J Day ended up winning. They were all complaining about it, but I'm like, dude, you're a pro golfer. Like, I don't want to hear about
Yeah.
you. I don't want to hear you complain about green speeds. But and moving it into March, they overseed the course. It looks a lot more aesthetically pleasing, in my opinion. Like I said, it's a great course. You know, TPC Sawgrass, that whole Sawgrass area, Ponte Vedra, it's beautiful. So I'm ready to dive into it, T-Bone. Who are some of your favorites to win this week to come away with not the silver one, which, by the way, since it's like the players' like new trophy, get ready for the animation. The golden players animation on 17, it's going to be outrageous.
Yeah, I can't wait. Um, all right, I got the odds pulled up here. We got Rom and Rory at plus 850, Scheffler plus 1,000. And I think I'm going to go one notch below that at plus 1,900. This guy is starting to heat up, had a backdoor top 10 this week, and I think he's still looking for his signature win. I'm going to go Patrick Cantlay.
Wow.
Played really well this last week. Um, I think I've seen Rom, Rory, and Scheffler kind of bounce around enough that I kind of don't want to pick them, just because I can't decide. And I think it's time for a signature win from Mr. Cantlay. So I'm gonna go with Pat.
I love it. I think that's a great pick. Yeah, I mean, looking at the odds here, Rory, Rom, Scheffler, Cantlay, JT, Homo, Morikawa, Scheffler, Victor Hovland, who got a hole-in-one this week. Shout out to Hovland. J Day, which Jason Day, man, he's playing some pretty good golf this year.
Yes.
It's good to see him back. He took a few years where he was not near the top of leaderboards. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, there's been a bit of a throwback with Ricky back, Jason Day, Justin Rose been playing good. So
And
we're
take me
seeing some
back to
familiar faces.
2010.
Yeah, yeah, we're seeing some familiar faces. I like it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, once you get past really the top, if you look at the betting odds, past Sung J M, I think who's your preseason pick. That's where it gets a little dicey for me. Like as much as I love guys like Matsuyama, Tommy Fleetwood, Sam Burns, Keith Mitchell, I'm not going to pick them to win the Players Championship. I think guys like that might be a good pick for like a top 15 if you're placing
Yeah.
that wager down. But in order to win, especially the players, one thing I like about it is that the cream rises to the top. I mean, the last three winners off the top of my head are Cam Smith, Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy. I mean, even before that, you had Justin Thomas, Tiger, or not Justin Thomas. I'm sorry, Jason Day. I mean, these are some of the Webb Simpson, the premier players in the world, tend to win this golf tournament. And in my opinion, TPC Sawgrass, yes, you have to hit it off the tee, but that is a second shot golf course. Yes, you have to put in the fairway, but there's so many like weird little pop bunkers. I mean, Pete Dye and his wife. I mean, his wife gets the credit for 17. She was like, "Hey, why don't you just like dig a bunch of dirt on there and fill it with water?" End up with the island green. So, shout out to Miss Dye. I forget her name off the top of my head, but yeah, it's a beast. And there's so many like undulations in those greens too, where you got to be on the right side of the green. Where if you don't do it, you bring three putt into play, no doubt in my mind. So I believe Will Zalatoris was my preseason pick. I'm gonna adjust that a little bit here. I'm gonna go Colin Morikawa for the Players Championship. I don't know if it's because I just watched that Netflix special, but like, I mean, Colin Morikawa, he's an absolute ball striker, won a couple majors already. I think even though the Players doesn't get the credit it deserves to be the major championship yet, whenever you enter the World Golf Hall of Fame, you say, how many major championships has he won and Players championships. Those are listed in the same breath. So I think guys like Colin Morikawa, he's gonna win at least one players. So I think he gets it done this week.
I like it. Good pick. I don't think you have to be a bomber here. Irons are going to be key. So I think those are solid picks. Happy we didn't go with the top three with Scotty, Rom, and Rory. So we'll
I
see
mean,
what happens.
Rom's the best player in the world right now, right? Like, I think McIlroy technically has better betting odds at the moment. It looks like him and Rom are the same. I'm looking at DraftKings right now; they're both plus 900. But Rom's won 3 times already this year. Like, it's so hard not to bet against John Rom, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we're crazy for thinking that, but maybe he's my pick for the Masters. Stay tuned to find out. But yeah, I just think Morikawa, if he gets the putter rolling just a little bit, dude, just get it rolling just a little, he is unstoppable.
I agree. Yeah, he's a freak. I thought he was going to run away with it after the first round this past week. What do you shoot? 67 or 5 or something insane,
Yeah.
and kind of fizzled away. I was really upset about it, but he's maybe slightly unpredictable, but pretty predictable that he's going to be near the leaderboard. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, going back to it real quick. I mean, I'm looking at former players champions. I mean, they're Cam Smith, Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, Webb Simpson are the last 4 winners. What are those guys known for? They're ball striking. They're phenomenal iron players and drivers of the ball off the tee. I mean, Webb Simpson, I mean, I think he's phenomenal, but like the guy literally had to revamp his entire putting because of the anger ban, but he still won the
Yeah.
players.
Yep.
How about Siwoo Kim winning in 2017? Forgot about that.
Oh
That
yeah.
was, that was good showing. Jason Day, then we all know Ricky Fowler, what he did in 2015, which is phenomenal. Martin Keimer, he's won a couple majors too, throw players in there, and then Tiger. And then after that, there was a weird stretch where it was like Tim Clark, KJ Choi, Matt Kuchar. But anyway, I digress. Good times. Good times. But also, they've redone TPC Sawgrass since then. So it's just, they make it that much harder, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree.
I hope it's a good week. If you have a chance to go out there, do it. It's a phenomenal tournament, phenomenal time. So I think I got some friends going. So shout out to y'all and hope you have fun. Send me pics. T-Bone, you ready to talk some full swing?
Yeah. How are we looking on time?
I don't know. I didn't really count the time here. So I think we got, do you want to do top 5 or do you want to do Netflix?
Um, I think our listeners, if I'm being honest, they've probably all seen Full Swing. So, we're not a full-time this isn't a full-time gig, so we're trying to get out the episode review as quick as we can. Why don't I give a 30-second overview of each episode?
Okay.
What are we at?
Episode 5
Five
and
and
6.
six? Cool. So 5 and 6. So let me get back into my notes here. Um, so 5 was Matthew Fitzpatrick and DJ, which again, I think they did a really good job here of doing the two contrasting personalities here. But
Which, real
um,
quick, Scaff, I've been big on the Matthew Fitzpatrick train
you
for a
have
long
been.
time. I really have been. I've been a big fan of his since he won the USAM. He's like my always sneaker pick in my Masters pool. And so it was really good to see him win. I was like, man, he's getting his shine. He deserves it.
Right, you're right or die. Mostly die. In regards to the Masters. But I'll just say from this episode, DJ was pretty bland. I wanted more from him, but for some reason the Fitzpatrick storyline got me super emotional watching him come back and win this tournament, or win the U.S. Open. It hit me hard, and I'm sure I'm not sure if you've got there yet, but you'll definitely feel that too with how much you've been behind the guy. But I think part of it is because it really just shows much of the episode is about how much he grinds and practices and studies the game and literally writes down every single shot he's ever hit for the last 10 years, which is a total nerd move, which I kind of hate. But It just showed how much it meant to him. He won the USAM here 10 years ago or so. So such a good story. Hit me right in the feels and very solid episode.
Yes, obviously he's very naturally gifted, right? But I think they did a good job of showing how hard he's had to work in order to reach that point, and how getting over the top of winning in the United States was a really big deal to get that first PJ Tour win and first major championship win. And it's just almost poetic in the sense that it happened at the same place where he won the US Amateur as well, at the Country Club in Brookline, Massachusetts. So yeah, no, it was a great episode for Matt Fitzpatrick. For DJ, honestly, that's what I expected. I know we wanted more. Maybe you wanted more Paulina. I don't know, but it was, yeah, it was what I expected it to be. And but also watching that, these are my thoughts. I see why nobody hates DJ for jumping over to live. This is why
Yeah.
DJ hasn't ruffled the feathers in the same way that the other guys have, being on the live tour. He's like, yeah, I think it's a bunch of BS, giving his reasons personally. All of them have. I
Yeah.
get the play less and get paid more. Okay, are you really playing that less? But that's
Well,
not the point. But I didn't hate it, but that's what I expected.
I think he said it's simple. Would you, I think anyone would work less to be paid more. If you wouldn't, there's something wrong with you. And I was like, buddy, I don't know if it's simple. I wouldn't characterize it as simple. This is a big controversial decision. It's not simple. And like you said, I don't think they're going to end up playing that much less. So we'll see how it plays out for them.
That's right. And then moving on to episode 6, T-Bone, we have Colin Morikawa, Tony Finau. I guess I didn't realize like how many kids Tony Finau has. Uh, just saying. But it was a good episode for both of them, I would say. Again, that's why I'm not saying that's why I picked Morikawa for the Players Championship, but like, dude, the guy is an absolute animal. I think those guys got a lot of fans from watching this episode. What were your thoughts?
So I've talked about fashion a lot on this show, and probably the most intriguing part of the entire show, because I've never known what this process looks like or how it goes. But when the Adidas golf outfitters are pitching their styles to Morikawa, I thought that was the coolest thing. That's something I've always wanted to see behind the scenes. And it was hilarious. They gave him, in Morikawa's defense, they gave him one of the worst looking outfits I've ever seen. It was like olive pants and like a tangerine floral graphic shirt. And he was like, I like the olive pants, but I'm wearing it with white. He's like, I think you think I like this, but I think you just like it. I don't like this. And he was super cutthroat with him, but I thought that was such good content. I've always wanted to know how that process works for releasing new clothing lines or dressing players for the majors. So that was awesome. And then all the emotions I felt for Fitzpatrick were like multiplied when I watched the Finau episode, watching what him and his wife had been through, what losing their parents, and watching him battle back from hitting range balls into a garage door growing up to now being a PGA Tour player. So that was a great episode. Probably one of the better ones of the series was episode 6. Loved it. And yeah, that Adidas clothing part of the episode was exactly what I was looking for. So all for that.
It's not surprising coming from the fashion guy of the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was for sure. Yeah, because there are sometimes some of those guys rolls out in those outfits, and you're like, what happened here? I would love to be in those meetings with Tiger and Nike.
Oh
That would
man.
be outrageous.
I don't think there's much said in those.
What, like, hey, what shade of red do you want to wear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or what do you think Tiger's first reaction was when he saw the mock turtlenecks back in like 2003 or four? Do you think he was like, hey, I want to roll with
Well,
it?
didn't he win the mock turtlenecks when he won in 18 or 19?
19,
He
yeah.
did.
Because he brought it back.
Yeah.
He was the only
So
guy. Only Tiger can pull off that look, I think.
yeah.
There
No,
were
I
some
think
tough looks there with like Robert Garrigus rocking the mock turtleneck at the players. Like,
yeah, no, it didn't work for a lot of people.
no, it did not.
I don't think it aged well, but yeah, Tiger's on one blood off, especially now, this day and age.
Yeah. Going back to Fitzpatrick real quick, and then we'll move on to top five. I forgot he was in the final group at the PGA Championship. I think
Yeah,
you said it a week or two ago, but what I love about this Netflix Full Swing series is that it's a great reminder what happened the season before. I forgot how much in the mix Will Zalatoris was at the US Open, too. He was one putt away from being in the playoff in the PGA and in the US Open. Like, the guy's right there. It's crazy. It's a great
yeah,
reminder of all who's in the mix. Also, low key, loved how they finally showed some Masters coverage for Morikawa and Finau, especially for the Scheffler episode. I think you said it. They just kind of blew by it a little bit, and he's the
yeah.
freaking winner.
Oh,
But yeah,
to
no, it was
that
good to see
point,
that.
one thing I don't know if I didn't know this. I'm admitting it. I thought this was super cool. I didn't know about the numbers that the caddies are given. That's the
Yeah,
order that you check in at the Masters.
that was great.
Did you know that?
No,
Yeah, I thought that was so cool. The behind the scenes of what happens at Augusta, and yeah, that was awesome. So I think Tony was saying some guys are like superstitious. They want the number they had last year. So if they're going to check in and they see what number they're in line they're at, they'll go back and come back like 30 minutes later. So I thought that was really cool. And I thought it was pretty funny how he parked in like the champions parking lot and
love that.
had to move his car and stuff. So a lot of cool stuff like that. That whenever I find something I didn't know about Augusta, it's awesome. I love it.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Totally obsessed with the place. Don't care. Everybody should be as well.
Yeah.
Before turning off the Masters, T-Bone, or before we move on, we got to give a shout out to the most underappreciated and lesser known fact of the Masters. So, as we all know, there's a cut after 36 holes, as Full Swing has let us know 1,000,000,001 times. Sometimes there's an odd amount of players who play. And so, the person who's the odd and dead last place, there is a marker who plays. He's called the marker. It's a Augusta National member who plays with the last place person. And that man for a period of time is Jeff Knox. Jeff Knox always plays as the marker, and he is supposed to help pace a play, pretty much just be a playing companion for the last place tournament, first group out, if there's an odd amount of people. And man, he knows Augusta National so well that he is like a local and national legend in his own right. And the guy can flat out play some golf. He has famously so his score doesn't count. He's never going to show up on the leaderboard or anything. And he has played with Rory McIlroy, and he beat him. He has played with multiple PGA Tour players as the marker at Augusta in the Masters tournament. So tournament conditions, and he has beaten these guys heads up play. So he is officially retiring from the role as the marker. So we got to show some love to Jeff Knox.
Does it get any better than that?
I'm
Does it
serious.
really get any better than that?
Totally agree. I
I
really don't think
mean,
it does.
my full-time job could be, you name it, if I can do that. Garbage man, I mean, anything. That is the gig that it doesn't get any better than that.
Totally agree. It's phenomenal. Yeah, in 2019, he teed up with Eddie Pepperell. In 2014, he famously shot a 70 to Roy McIlroy's 71. He's outscored Sergio Garcia. And like, dude, the guy is phenomenal. And like I said, he just gets to play in the Masters because he's a member, and they
Legend.
like choose their champion, if you will, to be the marker.
Yeah.
So, uh,
And and I believe
phenomenal.
he's being replaced with a younger guy now.
Yeah, I don't know who's replacing him. Actually, we'll have to see. We'll have to see who that is. We'll
I
have to get the
think
lowdown, see if we can.
I think it's a younger guy. I haven't looked too much into it, but man, what a gig, what a setup.
Goals.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Totally agree. So salute to you, Jeff Knox. Congratulations on like
Legend.
the best job in the world.
Yeah, legend.
All right. I think that moves us to top five. T-Bone, top five of our favorite Texas golfers. I'm excited for this list because, again, we said it, there's an incredible amount of golfers who have come from the state of Texas. Again, some you know, some probably you don't know as well. So we're going to break down that list for you. T-Bone, were there any shockers when you were doing your research on this?
Yeah, definitely some ones that surprised me. And I don't know about you, but I think the list I'm seeing online, I'm honestly skeptical about because if we're going, I don't know if we're going Texas from Texas, born in Texas. I think we decided on born in Texas, but I'm seeing Zalatoris come across a bunch of lists. Technically born in Cali. So I'm not
Ooh.
entirely, I'm relying on some lists that I'm not entirely confident in, but we'll have to roll with it. But yeah, overall, very, very solid list of golfers. I think probably Florida and California would give Texas a run for our money.
Yeah.
But other than that, those have got to be the best.
Yeah, I agree. It's yeah, because with Zalatoris being born in California, that's very true. He moved to Texas when he was pretty young, though, and went to high school with some guys that we know up in the DFW area. So he claims to be a Texan. Like, I think if you were to ask him, he'd probably say he's a Texan, right? Like, for
Yeah.
some reason on my list, whenever I Googled it, Jason Day showed up, and I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I'm
he's
seeing
from
that too.
Australia.
I'm seeing that too.
So I know Patrick Reed. I don't think he's born in Texas either, but
Okay.
he probably would claim to be a Texan because his wife is from Houston.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna
yeah,
get
that's
exposed. We might get exposed on some ticky tack stuff here, but I
don't want to
think
hear it.
we'll keep it. Yeah, we'll keep it as genuine as possible.
And again, if we missed anybody, comment below or comment below on who your favorite Texas golfer is. So Tebow, I'm gonna go first this time because you went first last time. Is that okay?
Yeah, let her rip.
All right. For my first overall pick, I'm gonna go Jordan Spieth.
Damn.
Jordan Spieth. I mean, three-time major championship winner, national championship at the University of Texas. He's from Dallas. Like, he's my graduating class as well. Like, we've known about Spieth for forever, and he burst on the scene so early and has remained on the scene as some other guys who are actually on this list who probably won't name, but like, or who probably won't make my list, but guys like Connor Mahan. He's from Texas. He was really popular, Ryder Cup player. He's not on the tour really anymore. I'm sure he's still playing, but so even the fact that Spieth's not even 30 years old, so it's his Hall of Fame career already. I mean, what more can you say about Mr. Jordan Spieth? So he is and he's our age. So that's why he's my favorite Texas golfer.
You you took my number one. I He would have been my number one for sure. And
I'm not saying
the
that's why I went first, but maybe.
I've talked about this on the podcast before. I think the reason I like Spieth so much is because his career is how I envision mine going. The Texas born prodigy, and I feel like I'm living through him. So, but other than that, I just like his game, his personality, so entertaining, and I think he's going to have a couple more green jackets in his closet by the time he's all said and done. So,
I hope
great,
so.
great pick,
Thank you.
great pick. All right, I'll go ahead and kick things off. So, I think I'm going to have to go with Lee Trevino. Lee Trevino, absolute legend, absolute character, the amount of stories, jokes, one-liners, and also game to back it up is all there with Lee Trevino. I think the most popular golf saying that came from him was the hold a one iron up in the air during a thunderstorm because not even God can hit a one iron. And I think he did get electrocuted on a golf course, which is just hilarious. He I know he was in the military for a while, and he was the pro at a golf course, and I think he had this reputation going around as being a big time gambler and having these money games. And I think it was Raymond Floyd, who was a pro golfer at the time, got word of it, wanted to play him, so he drove to I think it was El Paso or maybe somewhere in West Texas, and to play Lee Trevino. And Lee Trevino's there to get his clubs out of his car and put it on a cart or whatever, get his shoes and take him to the clubhouse. And then he realized it's the same guy who was playing on the first tee. So there's a ton of stories like that with Lee Trevino. He's a legend. He's awesome. He's hilarious. Multi-major winner and great, great representation of the state of Texas. So he's going to be number one on my list.
I love it. Lee Trevino, in my opinion, is the most underrated, accomplished golfer maybe ever. He is
Wow.
number 12 on major. He has 6 major champions. Won the British, U.S. Open, and PGA twice. The only knock is that he did not win the Masters. So, I mean, 6 majors. There's only a handful of other players who are ahead that who won more than him. So, I say he's underrated because he's never mentioned as some of the best players in the world of all
Yeah.
time. But he definitely should be 100% deserves to be up there. So I think that's a great pick.
Appreciate that.
So for my number 2, I'm gonna go with Mr. Ben Hogan. Ben Hogan, the legend himself. He 9-time major winner from the Fort Worth area. You know, almost died in a car wreck. Ends up winning the U.S. Open again. What more can you say about Ben Hogan? I mean, he is one of
Legendary golf equipment.
legendary golf equipment that unfortunately wrapped up. Hey, shout out to you, Darren. I appreciate the text, man. Yeah, no, I don't know much more that you can say about Ben Hogan. Fun fact too about Ben Hogan: he's the only player to win the Masters, the U.S. Open, and the PGA Championship in the same calendar year. No other player has done that. To be clear, not even Bobby Jones, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Gary Player. None of them. We all know the Tiger Slam, but that's because Tiger won the Masters the following year. So again, the same calendar year: Masters, PGA, U.S. Open. Ben Hogan. He's my number 2.
Love it. This list is going to be hard to beat if we continue on this pace. Yeah, he's an absolute legend. One thing people don't talk about, he was definitely a dick, like total
Yes.
a-hole. But I think Tiger is too. I think some guys just gotta have it. So, anyways, good pick.
Thank
All
you.
right, number 2, I'm gonna go Byron Nelson.
Great pick.
Um,
If you
you
weren't going to
know,
pick Byron Nelson, I was going to be mad at you, I think.
yeah, I think it was a given. He, he's got he is Texas golf. I'm pretty sure he just played golf so he could be a rancher. He or like farmer or something. He would just like farm and ranch and golf. So I think that's as Texas as it gets. I want to say he has the record for most wins in a row on the
Yep.
PGA Tour at like 10 or 12, something crazy. Bunch of other crazy records. And yeah, he is Texas golf and had to be added to the list. Um, so yeah, Byron Nelson, number 2.
It's a great pick. Yeah, I think those first 4 were pretty given for us. I think this is where it can get a little bit more nuanced.
It's gonna get tough here.
It's going to get tough. Again, this is our favorite players, but I'm going to go with maybe one of the more accomplished players that not many people are familiar with the name, but kind of in the same way Trevino, he gets often overlooked. I'm going to go Jimmy Demerit as number 3 here. So Jimmy Demerit won the Masters 3 times.
Wow.
Exactly, right? He won the Masters 3 times. He just doesn't get the recognition of when he didn't win any other majors. So that's why I don't think he gets necessarily the love. But he's born and raised in Houston, as we are, and that's where we host this podcast. So yeah, he's born and raised in Houston. He was longtime friends with Jackie Burke Jr., who also is a name that could come up as the current oldest living Masters champion. What is he, like 95 or close to 100? But anyway, so Demerit, he was the club pro out of Brayburn for a while. He helped found Champions Golf Club with Jackie Burke Jr. He's done great things for Texas golf. Again, 3-time Masters champion. So yeah, that's why Jimmy Demerit doesn't get the love he deserves, in my opinion. He's coming in at number 3.
Good pick. I've known the name, didn't know anything about him. That's kind of shame on me for not knowing the 3-time Masters champion, but that's yeah, and Brayburn. Good Texas pick, good Houston pick.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. There's a few areas I can go here. Do I go new school? Do I go old school? Do I go kind of middle of the road?
It's a tough call.
I think I'm gonna go Justin Leonard.
Great pick. Love it. Dang,
Justin
he was gonna be my
Leonard.
next guy.
Justin Leonard. I mean, I think I would argue best moment in Ryder Cup history. Just the
I agree.
Medina, Medina.
No, it was at the country club, actually, Brookline.
Okay, yeah. I mean, just the 40-foot bomb rammed into the back of the cup, stomping on the Europeans' line, all the wives on the green, the comeback of the century, the Texas kid. I mean, I think I've got to pick him just because of that moment. Um, I know he also, you know, I want to say in Texas high school golf, he also has like every record ever, but I guess that's not the most distinguishing on his resume. But um, he was really good for a really long time. I loved him on the Golf Channel. Looks like he's going back into the Champions Tour now, but hell of a player. And yeah, I think he had to be added to the list. And yeah, I'm kind of torn because I just thought of someone, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he was an All-American at the University of Texas as well. So, yeah, no, I think that's a great pick. I don't know if if that's reaching for number three, but like he definitely deserves to be on the list. There's no doubt
Yeah,
about that. Great ambassador for the game in the state of Texas. Number four here, I'm gonna go a little old school as well. I'm gonna go Mr. Ben Crenshaw.
I fucked up. I fucked up. That's who I should have picked.
I mean, Ben
And then,
Crenshaw, what more can you say? Two-time Masters champion, Mr. He is after look, he still hosts the Champions Dinner at the Masters, man. Like that is it was Byron Nelson got passed down to Ben Crenshaw. And heck, just to keep the Texas lineage, he's probably gonna pass it down to Jordan Spieth if I had to guess afterwards,
yeah,
right? It could be him or Scotty in the mix now, another Texas guy. But yeah, I mean, Ben Crenshaw, he's phenomenal. I don't know what more can you say. University of Texas, our golf instructor, Max Garrett, shout out to you. If you live in Houston, go check out Golf Smart, by the way. He played with Ben. He has some phenomenal stories about Ben that we can spend an entire podcast on sharing. Like, I feel like we should get Max on just to talk about Ben Crenshaw. But
yeah,
let's just say if there weren't, if Mr. Crenshaw wasn't able, how do I put this? If he focused on golf a bit more, he would have won a lot more major championships.
yeah. The golf aside too, his play is golf course design's awesome too.
Oh, totally agree. He like in his
Yeah,
little putting stroke too, just so
yeah.
beautiful.
The
So yeah,
putter he
Crenshaw coming
won
in
the
four. I feel
Masters.
like that's a steal.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking. I'm telling you, these lists I'm looking at are they're not in alphabetical order, and yeah, that was a big miss on my end. All right, number four might get called out on a technicality here, but I'm thinking the long game. This guy's gonna be a legend. The origins we can leave this up for discussion, but got to go Scotty Scheffler.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, okay, appreciate that. I believe originally from New Jersey, but I think he was five or something. So yeah, been in Dallas, Royal Oaks, um,
Highland
since
Park.
yeah, since the age of five or whatever. Already got a master's under his belt, and looks like he's not stopping anytime soon. So we'll if Scotty T and the fans will allow me, I'll put Scotty on the list there at four.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't realize he was born in New Jersey. Yeah, Ridgewood, New Jersey. But I mean, look, when you've been here since five, he's a Texan through and through, still lives in Texas. I mean, that's the thing. A lot of these guys, I feel like that's a good indicator. If you move away, like Justin Thomas, is he a Floridian? But he's from Kentucky. So I don't know. I think that's a good indicator. If you move back to Dallas or move back to Texas, then you're definitely a Texan.
Love it.
Yeah. I mean, you national champion at University of Texas too. So yeah, love the Scotty pick there. I think that's a good place for him. Let's see, number five for me, man. There are some really good ones. Maybe we'll do a quick honorable mention after this, but I think I'm gonna go Tom Kite. Tom Kite as well with those big glasses. He was never the long hitter, never really flashy, but was at the top of a lot of leaderboards. I mean, I don't know how many wins he has. Let's see if I can look it up real quick. 37 wins, on the PGA Tour. That is no joke. The guy can flat out play golf. Also went to the University of Texas too. NCAA champion, tied with Ben Crenshaw. Actually, they were teammates together. They're together, so feel like I got a good balance of like kind of Jordan Spieth, old school Hogan, and then some older gentlemen here with Crenshaw and Kite. So and Demerit. So I'm pretty proud of my list here.
Yeah, it's a good list, and I'd be lying to you if I told you I wasn't in trouble right now. And I also wish I wouldn't have changed the prompt. The original prompt that I texted Scotty T was best. We changed it to our favorite.
it kind of turned in the best here at the end, the last 3 or 4 picks. Like I think
Let's
there's a good argument for Scotty Scheffler, actually.
yeah. Let's go back to best Texas golfers if you don't mind.
Okay.
So I'm about to drop an absolute wild card on
Oh no.
you. Babe Zaharias.
Who? Hold on, I'm going to the Google machine.
I'm gonna go with Babe Zaharias. So let me pull up some stats here. But Babe Diedrichson Zaharias is the greatest female athlete of all time. She's from Port Arthur, Texas. There's a Babe Zaharias museum somewhere on the way to Beaumont, and it's like a little dome. The reason I know a little bit about this is she's from my dad's hometown, but this is a major throwback. But she was an absolute legend. Golf, track and field. I want to say basketball, and yeah, she was a legend. So,
Wow. Yeah, I'm reading up on her. I mean, gold medalist in the 1932 Olympics, played golf, looks like she won the Grand Slam of golf, something like that. Yeah, she
yeah,
won the 3 majors of the day, the US Open, the Title Holders Championship, and the Women's Western Open after winning gold medals. No big deal. 1950. Wow.
yeah. That happy that one came to me.
Great
Babe
call.
Zaharias, I've always been a big fan. So
Mildred Ella Babe Dirksen Zaharlit. Yeah, Babe, it's a good nickname. Better than Mildred.
yeah.
Wow.
Um,
Good call,
if
team.
I'm appreciate that. If I'm being honest, I'm a little worried about my list. The I didn't think you're going to take Spieth over number one overall, and then I really wanted. I fucked up not getting Ben Crane or Ben. Wow,
Wow.
Ben Crit, Ben,
Wow.
who is a Texas-born golfer, I believe.
He is.
Yeah.
Great call.
Uh, who else did we miss? I don't
Yeah,
think
definitely
anyone had
honorable
Patrick Reed,
mentions. Our friend of the pod, Chris Stroud. He's been on the
Chris
podcast.
Stroud. Yeah.
That's right. Shout out to Port Neches there and home of your dad. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Appreciate that.
Probably the most notable who we missed was Jackie Burke Jr.
Yeah.
Again, the oldest living Masters champion. He pretty much started champions because he didn't like the way that River Oaks was being run. Like whenever River Oaks added tennis to the club, he was like, "They're so what a bunch of idiots. This is a golf club," and he's a grumpy old man now. But hey, he's still out there at champions all the time. Let's see, Jimmy Walker, I think.
Yep.
Jimmy
Kramer.
Walker, Sean O'Hare, Chad Campbell. How about Chad Campbell, Masters or a major championship winner?
We could maybe throw Zalatoris in the list.
Yeah, Kelly Craft,
Kramer Hickok.
Kramer Hickok, Jimmy Walker, major champion, Baylor guy. If you really wanted to get technical, you could probably throw in Harvey Penick.
Yeah.
Too. So again, and then on this list, there's Cole Hammer, Parker Cootie, the Cootie guy, the Cootie brothers, which one of the Cootie guys finished top 20, I think. Yeah, Pearson Cootie finished T14 at Arnold Palmer this week. So great.
Straight out of Abilene, which I was notified by loyal listener Mr. Darren. So he definitely wanted a shout out to the Cootie twins.
Yeah.
Grandfather was a successful PGA Tour player, so they got a lot of golf history there. You want a wild card Texas golfer?
Who's that?
Technically, Johnny Manziel is trying to become a pro golfer.
All right. I don't know about that, man. Hey,
Is
he's
it
actually a
over?
pretty good golfer.
Yeah.
But no, that doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe also notable, Bryson DeChambeau did not make the list. Just saying.
Yeah.
But he's more of a California guy. He just lives in Texas, post SMU.
Yeah.
Bo Hostler, too.
Is Hunter Mahan from Texas?
Well, Bo Hostler's from California, too.
Yeah. Is Hunter Mahan from Texas?
Yeah. Hunter Mahan. That was probably that was the other one. Good call. See, where's he from? No, he's from Orange, California. He lives in Colleyville, though.
Gotcha.
Oklahoma State guy.
Colt Knost is from Texas.
There's a lot of good ones. Jim Nantz. Just saying.
Jim Nantz. That would have been a good pick.
Yeah, that would have been a sneaky pick.
Yeah.
Would have liked that. So again, comment below on who some of you some guys that we missed or whatnot. But T-Bone, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Any last parting words?
No, I think we nailed it. I think the top 5 is it gets me going. It's a good segment. But yeah, let us know who we missed, and what top 5 should we do next week? Let us know.
That's right. I still got to cut last week's episode, but I'm going to try to cut this and post individually as well. So everybody, we appreciate y'all sticking with us. Comment on the video, subscribe to the podcast, give us 5-star reviews. Let us know what you think in the comments below, or shoot us an email. Follow us on our social media channels at 300 Par Pod. That is the number 300 Par Pod, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We had a little viral video on TikTok, which is outrageous. It was like the silliest video, which I need to respond back because we got roasted, Scaff. You need to look at it. We got roasted for drinking White Claws on the course.
Hey, that wasn't me in the video.
That was Kyle, and I think I was there. We had a fair amount of White Claws that day. Everybody's like, "Oh, nice." Like, I don't know, you play golf with girls, or like, next time bring your husband playing golf.
Yeah.
I was like, "Jeez, jeez, guys." The comments were outrageous.
Yeah.
But no, yes, 79,000 views.
79,000 views.
Yeah. All right. Here's your husband will be very proud of you. White Claw should never be on the golf course. Sissy drinks. Let's see. White Claws. I don't bring girls to the golf course, my guy. Yeah.
Wow.
White Claw and Ultra, was it a women's league?
Go check out this video. We don't know why, but this is definitely our most successful post video anything on TikTok. Over 79,000 views and counting.
Crazy.
Is that correct?
That's right.
Wow.
What a time. What a time to be alive. But I think that's a good place to wrap it up here. We appreciate everybody y'all for tuning in. Players Week, big week. Really excited. We'll be back next week with the full players breakdown and recap of a phenomenal week. So I'm Scotty T for T-Bone, and remember,
little white ball is life.